It is officially fall, which means it's time for the end of the year book tag. I'm really excited to film this video. I haven't done a book tag in a while, so let's get started with the tag. I have not read the questions prior to the tag like my normal style. I just want to see what comes to my mind. So the first question for the book tag is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And the answer is no. Well, obviously the books that I'm currently reading, I'm hoping to finish by the end of the year, which shouldn't be a problem because I still have a few months. I usually don't start books and then not finish them. Like, assuming that I enjoy them, I usually just like read it through. So, no. Yeah, let's just move on to the next question, which is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? That is a good question. I've actually been starting to read more fantasy books. So right now I'm reading the Tawny Man trilogy. No, it's the Tawny Man trilogy, which is by Robin Hobb. I think it's that trilogy, not Fitz and the Fool. So I'm really liking that. And also I do want to reread The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue at some point, because to me that book is very fall and I ended up reading that last fall. I'm also going to be reading a thriller, hopefully. It's for the late night book club. They're doing a thriller, and let me actually find the name of it. So the book is called If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I believe this is like a dark academia book, and I think it's like thriller-esque, which to me is like very fall. I don't really read seasonally. I think autumn though is like kind of fun to read like more whimsical fantasy books. But I generally like don't really care. But I thought this book sounded fall, and it's like the October book pick, so hopefully I'll read. I don't think I would have ever heard of this book or picked this book up on my own if I hadn't been for the book club. But yeah, that's the book that I will use for this question. Okay, so the next question is there a new release you're still waiting for? So I actually recently found a new release that I am so excited for. And that is Emotional Inheritance, A Therapist, Her Patients, and the Legacy of Trauma. It says, Dr. Galit Atlas, an internationally known psychoanalyst, draws on the emotional power of her patients' stories and her own life experiences to shed light on the extraordinary ways in which inherited family trauma affects our lives. So I think this is going to be really similar to Lori Gottlieb's book, Maybe You Should Talk to Someone. I am so excited for this book to come out. I'm so glad that I found it. I don't even know how I found it, but I did. And it's coming out in January, like January 25th is what it says. So I still have like a few months, but I am so excited to read this book. I think I'm absolutely going to love it, and I cannot wait. So what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Okay, so my goal is to finish the Tawny Man trilogy by the end of the year. So I'm reading the first one, and then I'll have 2 more. If We Were Villains, as I've mentioned. Let me think of some other ones that I want to read. Oh yeah, oh my god. The next book I'm going to read is going to be Acts of Faith by Eric Siegel. I'm so excited to read that book, and I totally forgot about that. So I also just read Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've also read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six in the past. So because I just loved everything that she's ever come out with, I want to read some of her older books. So I have these 3 on hold from my library. I have Maybe in Another Life, One True Loves, and Forever Interrupted, all on hold for audio. So I'm gonna probably read at least 1, maybe 2 of those. If you have like a Taylor Jenkins Reid recommendation, like let me know. I know she has like a lot of older books, and I'm not like really sure where to start with them. Those are the ones that I've like heard more about, but I'm actually like really excited to read those books. She's such a phenomenal author, and so I'm kind of curious to see like how she rates, I think, the romance, but very excited for those. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I'm excited to read Eric Siegel's book, Acts of Faith. I also really want to read The Class by him. I don't know if I'll get to it by the end of the year, but I want to read that as well. Just because Doctors became like one of my favorite books of the year, and it's obviously the same author. Honestly, like I don't think there's anything like upcoming that I'm like, oh my god, I'm like gonna absolutely love this book. I'm just kind of like reading for pleasure right now, and no, we'll see. How would I know if it's gonna be my favorite book? We'll see, and I'll let you know. Have you already started making reading plans for next year? No. I'm like just getting back into like Robin Hobb's books. So once I finish the Tawny Man trilogy, I want to read the Fitz and the Fool trilogy, which I think is that's the last trilogy of the main character Fitz from his perspective. So I'll probably read those primarily next year. I still am like wanting to be on the school of reading like long books. Obviously all of those count because they're like very long. So I just like love reading my mass market paperback, like long books. So I still want to continue doing that. I don't really have like goals yet. Like to me, like it's way too early to come up with goals. I'm like still working on my 2021 goals. So no, I don't really have reading plans for next year, but when I do, I will be sure to let you guys know. Is that really the end of the tag? Wow. That was the lamest tag. I'm sorry, I like feel like I gave you guys like no answers to everything. Oh my god. There's literally 6 questions for this tag. I'm sorry, you guys. This video is over. I didn't even know that. Wow. I feel like I didn't even share with you anything. Okay. Okay, well that's the end of the video. I'm sorry. That ended really quickly. So sorry about that, but I hope you enjoyed the video for how short it was. And thank you so much for getting all the way till the end. But before we do my outro, tell me what your plans are for the rest of the month. That could be like specific books you want to read, the amount of books you want to read, like pages, whatever it is. Like, let me know what you're kind of thinking for fall and then into winter. That's something that I think would be kind of fun, like for the winter, reading like wintery books. So that's something else that I was planning on doing. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. And thank you so much for getting all the way into the end of this video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one.